And welcome, everyone. Another CBC podcast. This one filled to the brim with things to talk about. Some of them older, some of them a little newer. You never know what you're going to get here. But what you are going to get is four of us here definitely delivering good content. No, Mitch, trash is not what we're delivering. It probably is. Oh. But it's going to be good.
That must have been the old demo. Cool, I got it.
Oh, yes. But before we get to the show, as always, of course, I am your host, Armin, and I am joined by Mitch.
What's up? You can socials description.
Yeah. That you
yeah.
can. Or what social media app are you using the most, Mitch?
None of them, really.
Same. Perfect.
Does Final Fantasy 14 count as social media?
Yes. It's a
there
whole
you go. Then
universe.
I am on there.
Okay. Interacting with the cat people and the whatever else.
The cat people, the long-eared cat people, the short-eared cat people, the goth cat people. Everyone's a cat person.
Everyone's a cat person. A man who may know 2 or 3 or 4 things about cat people. Tristan, what's your cat awareness knowledge at?
Too much to talk about on this show. So
Tristan is the lead ERP person in Limsa Laminsa. So if you want to spend your gil, go find Tristan. Yeah. 6 people will get that reference.
So Tristan, what have you been spending your time on?
Doing a lot. I know people who have been surprised that I've been showing up on the main channel, and that's what I've been doing, trying to catch up on a lot of stuff and see some more stuff like that.
Yeah,
everyone's just got that Sean's back.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, was it like close to almost, was it like 8-10 years, and people still think like I'm Sean for some reason.
I'm still shocked you're not. So this is
Armin, you're not recording.
Oh no, I am on my device. Don't worry.
He's not.
Okay.
It's good.
I got
that. Just occurred to me that I was like, oh no, the light's not red. Sorry for interrupting.
Are you sure it's actually picking it up?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I got it. Don't worry. It's all checked out. Okay. Which I guess is going to bring me to our 4th member here of this here fine established podcast. We got Jared from the Nerd Academy.
Hello. I've been spending my time on Twitter and TikTok, which is not good. And also been working. I forgot to plug it earlier. Ionized Bastards Season 2 is coming out. It is a Star Wars real play RPG show on the All Remaining Systems YouTube channel. It is DM'd by one Michael McCoy. It features myself as Fabian Martel, a Force sensitive with a checkered past, Dan Miller from Broaxium as a cyborg Gungan named Zuzo Yort, Jerry from the Bombad cast playing a cuddly assassin droid named 4044, and everybody's favorite character, even my best friend's and my girlfriend's favorite character, Alden Diaz of Octo Radio and Casterly Talk and a number of other things, as Thobor Sheems, who is basically Saul Goodman but an Ithorian.
So you're playing nerdier D&D. That's a step.
Yeah. We've said D&D, but space wizards.
To be fair, I just started a D&D campaign with my best friend and like my wife and his wife, and he's recording it. So at some point, I'm gonna have to show that here because he's gonna be putting it up wherever. So.
Yeah. I played Ionized Bastards first. My girlfriend got me super into Dimension 20.
Mm-hmm.
My character is like loosely named after my favorite character from Fantasy High. Fabian Martel is named after Lou Wilson's character in Fantasy High, Fabian Seacaster. So I was excited for season 1. We used like the Fantasy Flight Star Wars system.
Mm-hmm.
But we realized that Michael was really the only person who understood that game system. And, it was a lot of us rolling and then going, what does that mean, Michael?
Yeah, it can get complex with these games, man.
The Fantasy Flight one is a little obtuse for like a real play show. So we switched over to Star Wars 5e, which is a reskin of Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, but with Star Wars stuff.
That's the way to do it. Yeah.
So I'm very excited. The first time I ever played real D&D, it was also DM'd by Michael McCoy, and Armin and all the wrestling people will be proud of me. I super kicked a goblin to death. Scotty J. Rowe of the Bombad cast, he for whatever reason decided to not use his quarterstaff to attack this goblin. He just did a Mortal Kombat from the ground uppercut, and I was right next to him. So I said, Michael, I would also like to do like an unarmed attack. I want to super kick the goblin. And he said, okay, roll for me. And I rolled a nat 20 on my super kick and kicked the goblin through a tree and liquefied it. And I'm going to be chasing that high for the rest of my tabletop career.
This is the only time Jared can beat Scotty at anything.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
That's what
I
you
am
get.
I am so upset with you right now.
I mean, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I backed you twice. Prove me wrong. Come on. Now.
Wow, it's
Okay,
like
you want me
picked
to
the wrong
prove you wrong, Mitch? You want me to prove you wrong?
Go on.
There may or may not be a match that took place that was off the books.
Oh, well, that one doesn't count.
Oh,
That
off
was
the
done.
books. How convenient.
Hold on.
Yeah. The one that legally
A
can't be
match?
shown on YouTube. Yeah, that one. That doesn't count.
A match that was designed to test out Eli's championship format, because there's a championship match coming up in the next couple months, and he's doing a 7-round match for those.
But that doesn't count.
That he may or may not have had Scotty and I test out. And I'm not going to say definitively who won that match.
Oh, well.
All I'm saying is when I inevitably get my chance at a belt, I like my odds.
You like your odds. He's trying to get us on his side, clearly. No idea if it's going to work. But hey, good luck to you.
I didn't even know Armin watched Epic Confrontations to get that joke, so now I'm like, wow.
Sometimes,
The
occasionally...
guy I looked up to as a kid is also pissing on me now for my
You
trivia
deserve it.
record.
You deserve it.
I'll say after everything, yeah.
I'm 4-2 with 3 KOs. I have the best record in the league. Come on.
But you haven't won, though.
I've won 4 times. 3 of them by knocking the other guy out.
He's
but
clearly
Alden
lying.
won.
Clearly lying.
Yeah.
I'm about to go CM Punk in this StreamYard is what's about to happen.
I'm streaming here with children. I just want to get this done and just have a meltdown.
That is going to be me in my next EC match. I am doing trivia with children.
Well, speaking of trivia with children, we do have a podcast here, everybody. We're hoping that you guys are really going to enjoy. We got some good topics, so we're just going to jump right into it. It's, honestly, at this point, it's older news, but it's worth bringing up. The Marvel Spotlight banner. What's everybody's thoughts on this? Because me, personally, I've been asking for this ever since Marvel TV shut down, so I'm all for this.
They have been telling us this is going to happen since they brought Fox.
Yes, they have. Yep.
The whole, oh yeah, we will do R-rated movies. It will just have to be a way to let people know that it's going to be R-rated. And then this comes out and everyone's like, oh, it's the thing that no one gives a crap about. Yeah. They're putting it under that. It's just like, okay.
Well, it's like,
no, this is our way of saying don't bring your kids to this without saying don't bring your kids to this.
Right.
Pretty much, yeah.
And they'll bring the kids, and then they'll say, "Why is Marvel doing this?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it.
It's
Wonder Man might not be R-rated because they also said that it's for the stuff that you don't necessarily have to be all caught up for.
right,
It might be more standalone stuff. So
yeah,
I think we all know Daredevil is going to be under this, right?
100%.
Yeah,
There's no way it's not. No.
I mean, they're clearly going to pivot to like this type of rating and everything. It's the only one that makes sense. Like nothing else does. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see just how they handle the messaging on this. Not like that they have to worry about it too much, but you got to think about the bigger picture here, right? Like the messaging, because you have to go here, you have to seek this out. It's obviously going to pop up if you haven't enabled, if your account's enabled for adult content. But also, some people are like, well, now they're telling me it's not important. No, it's exactly what you liked about Daredevil, but when Daredevil was airing, you were saying it needs to be in the MCU, and now you want to go back to the old way where it doesn't have to, be a slave to whatever. So
Yeah.
it's
I think it's no different to like Marvel Knights.
right. Yeah.
Right, it's literally
Man,
just
I forgot about the Marvel Knights branding. Wasn't that like only on Ghost Rider
no,
too?
no. You had like humans. You had Punisher, Daredevil.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, a lot of them. I think it was like that, and they had Spider-Man and some other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It.
You might be thinking, actually, no. What was Ghost Rider Marvel Knights?
Yeah. The
Ghost Rider
second
Spirit
one
of
was.
Vengeance was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but like this kind of makes sense. Like you got to differentiate the brands. Like I don't get why people would be like, bad. It's like, no, this is good. This is actually good. Like
No one said anything when they had the special presentation banner for Werewolf by Night.
exactly, and that's kind of like the same deal you're getting at. So, I don't know. Like I think this is fine. Like in my opinion, it's good that there's a hey, this is proper MCU. Watch this if you want to know the bigger continuity. Hey, we got this over here. Yes, it's still part of the universe, but you don't need it as mandatory watching. Like that's a great way to handle it.
Yeah, for sure.
To me, it's smart. I have nothing bad to say about this. Like literally nothing. I think it's good. Gives them.
Also, nothing's come out for it yet, so
Yeah.
I don't get how people can say it's for the stuff that they think's going to be like really bad or.
But it's in shambles.
I mean, that's true. It's the Shambles has literally come out, so obviously it's true. Variety said it. How could it not be true?
Exactly.
All right,
Okay.
Cyril Karn. All right.
So, I think honestly, let's wait till.
Surprised
Echo is
Mitch
out.
got that joke. I'm surprised Mitch actually got that joke.
I didn't. I just laughed at you.
Oh, Cyril Karn's the weirdo incel from Andor.
Well, that's why I don't know what it is because Andor's bad. You can't be mad. You literally asked for that one to happen.
I wanted you to be upset with what I compared you to, but
No,
it
But
rebounded.
no.
I don't know what you're comparing me to because I haven't got the memory capacity for bad stuff.
Well, that's fair enough, I suppose. So look, yeah, when we watch Echo, we'll know more of what they intend to do or show us. Until then, don't worry about it. Let's talk about things falling apart for Captain America. As the film was done shooting and Deadpool was still not done shooting, and they decided to bump Captain America back 11 months. A little worried about this one, honestly.
I mean, they're just making another film, right?
They have to be.
I don't know if it's getting soloed or Justice Leagued.
Oh, it's getting that, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's the whole thing of it wasn't testing well or whatever. And again, I don't think
I've never bought that. Every time I've ever heard the it's test audiences, I'm like, test audiences. Okay. I'm making a hand gesture as I say test audiences for the people at home. I'm like, okay.
Making the wanky sign.
I'm making the wanky sign. Yeah, no, I don't think I buy it. If I'm being honest, I don't. I don't know what's happening. If they're going back to restructure stuff like we were saying in the other episode, with Kang Dynasty's director stepping back, let them do what they got to do, man. I don't. I try to
get a new writer for this as well.
Yeah, I believe
Did
there
they
was
get new
some.
people for it?
Yeah, they are doing some rewrites from what we are to understand, and pretty significant reshoots as well. But
I say also, like, let's be honest here. No reshoots last like 7-11 months, whatever the hell.
exactly,
However long this is. Like they are absolutely redoing this movie. There's no ifs or buts or what about it. You delay it for that long, and you're starting because of reshoots. You are remaking a movie here.
There's something weird definitely going on with this one, which, again, who knows what it is, but...
I mean, if it is the whole it was in testing like well internally, then fair enough. Like, make the movie good.
Mm-hmm. Right.
As the Steam guy just said, a delay's not, a delay's temporary, but the sucker's forever.
Yeah. They get stuck in a position with this one, like, if a fourth Captain America movie comes out and it's terrible,
You know, yes, I understand why people are like ringing the alarm about Shambles and MCU dead and MCU bad and all that stuff. But on the flip side, just let them do their thing. They're clearly trying to restructure everything and make stuff good. Captain America 4 is going to be the first one of that.
Right. Yeah.
That's just if it comes out and it's bad and it's like Falcon and Winter Soldier again, fine, have at it. But let it do its thing.
Let them cook.
Exactly. In the words of Iman Vellani, let them cook.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I love the Captain America films and I want this to be good, but to me, it's like I understand that they need a delay and they push it back. Maybe they want to go back really to the drawing board, like you're saying, because this is a significant delay and fix it up. And I do hope that maybe they caught some errors in it. I mean, remember, from the moment we got the first report of what the film was, everybody sat back and said, so this is the Incredible Hulk 2. And you just slapped Captain America in it. Like, it's kind of is, you know? Maybe that's not working out. So
I never understood people who have that idea. It's like, oh, you should put him against someone, you know, he can fight against. It's like, yeah, but then the movie's boring.
Yeah. I mean, that is true.
Right, the whole point of Captain America, especially Sam's, is that he goes against people that he shouldn't be able to go against.
Right, yeah. But again, giving literally, it's like, hey, here's the Red Hulk and Abomination and the Leader and they're bringing back Liv Tyler, right? She's back as Betty. Yeah, she is.
I think,
like, like, my God, there's like, who's the Captain America cast in this, you know? It's like, and yeah, Sam doesn't have much of a supporting cast, but
I mean, we had I can't remember the new Falcon's name.
Joaquin.
That guy.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the only one in it.
Get good at trivia.
And apparently,
I mean,
like,
no, I know my place.
But like, the big news that came at us was like, apparently Isaiah Bradley and like bringing up, you know, Patriot. That's all done. Like, they weren't even going to acknowledge any of that. It's like, that would be central to a Captain America movie to bring those characters in again. Like,
I thought they always were going to be in it.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of the reports are very weird. I guess we'll see what happens in the end. I'm not going to condemn this film just by a delay in reports because we've seen nothing. We've had like 5 set photos leak, so that's all we got to go by. It's not a whole lot.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
We'll see what happens, man. I'm excited for it. You know, I think that not to bring the mood down with some very heavy real world stuff. I think this movie is going to have enough to deal with already, considering some of the characters who are supposed to be in this and current events. And a tightrope that is going to need to be walked.
Yeah, agreed.
What's her name? Sabra?
Yeah.
Is that there's some rumors about them changing her anyway.
I would not be surprised if that is a part of like the reshoot, rewrite stuff. Is that they're like, hey, you know, maybe one of our heroes isn't in the IDF. Cap, right? You know, maybe we don't need an Avenger who's in the IDF, you know? And it's
apparently they made it like a CIA person, but who knows if that was true or not.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think that alone is enough for me to have, if I were in control, to be like, I need to tweak this.
But how funny
which sucks for Sam Wilson's stories in the MCU, that twice he is the lead of a project that gets way too real.
Yeah,
you know, you had the plague subplot in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They're like, oh, can't touch that, and they're like, all right, we have an Israeli special forces person. No,
part of me, I get why you'd be a bit gun shy. That part of me is like, don't shy away from it. Like, just do it well, right? But I understand you're gonna get absolutely shat on for my life for doing it.
Well, I think that there also comes a point of like, there's only, with the nature of these movies, there's only so much social commentary I think you have the space to do.
I mean,
and
true.
Like, I don't think whatever you're trying to do with a Captain America movie, you have the real estate to like really get into the ethics here, especially when you
No.
have somebody who's like,
And-
they're a hero, they're a government goon type. Like I do not blame them for wanting to shy
And
away
then
from that,
also,
especially because, sorry.
like, yeah, you bring that up, but also, do you want that to be in juxtaposition to hokey smashy? Like, I think that comes off a little weird in the film. You're like,
I mean, that's just comic books in general, right?
exactly.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
I
like,
think there is an insensitivity that you got to be cognizant of. I mean, and that's
yeah.
without even getting into the fact that like this movie already had an uphill battle with like its original title.
right.
They were
Yeah,
like, okay, well, maybe we should change the title because New World Order is a little on the nose. So I again, we talked about it in the other episode we recorded just before this. Marvel has they at Marvel Studios has not done a fantastic job with their Jewish and Romani representation.
Mhm.
And having a movie with one of your characters who is basically an IDF super soldier called New World Order, with everything happening in the world right now,
Yeah.
that is a lot of baggage to take into this movie.
And also,
that
like,
I can't blame them for maybe wanting to
in this film,
recalibrate.
But
we
there's
already...
one panel of Sabra where she recognizes Palestinians as people. The character development, though.
I really want to get everybody's thoughts on this one because God Loki, what is the future here for this character?
Can we not call him God Loki? I beg.
We kind of have to, right?
No. The only thing I've seen say that is Funko Pop. I haven't got to acknowledge those.
To be fair, Marvel Studios also put out a poster saying God Loki. So, yeah.
Oh, did they?
And a caption. It's all there.
They really are in shambles. God's sake.
It's happening. Everybody's now had a little bit of time to sit on this, take it in. What's the feeling on his current status and what they might be going for?
Well, listen to the spoiler cast that me and Jared done. That should be out by now.
Either channel.
Yeah. You have 3 to choose from. Pick one.
Yeah, you get the finale, the season talk, my season review, my finale review. I got 4 actually, if you think about it, but with a Gen V review mixed up in there as well for both. But no, I think that I really like where Loki's at. There's such beautiful symmetry with his character and how he's evolved that, as I've said countless times at this point, and I won't, ingratiate myself with going on this whole rant again and waxing poetic about it, but taking Loki from a position where he was so desperate for a throne for all the wrong reasons, for his ascension to be an act of sacrifice and in a moment that he does not actually want but recognizes as necessary. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I think Loki is going to be the final step for Kang, Doom, the Beyonder, Moreland, whoever the big bad is going to be. I think that he is going to be the last stop, and I think it's beautiful because the last time we had a a villain on this scale of this was Thanos. And who was Thanos' first casualty? Loki. Who's the last person on the hit parade now? Loki. And the idea of that, like, Loki is going to have to face off against one last Kang, I think is really beautiful. And that, like, whoever Kang Prime is going to have to, like, square off with him. That if he wants to be able to conquer reality, he has to get through Loki. So I really do like the idea that Loki is kind of like our, for lack of a better term, main character for Kang Dynasty. Mm-hmm. I really hope that's the case. I hope that he is the driving force. I hope that so much of the story happens, in the same way that Infinity War was about Thanos. I want Kang Dynasty to be a Loki and Kang joint.
Because we talked about this before, but the whole Loki's the one that brings the Avengers together in the first movie, or Loki always brings the Avengers together, right? Like even in the comics, like we haven't got an Avengers lineup, so have Kang Dynasty be Loki getting together a group of Avengers.
Yeah.
Whether that's you do the Infinity Stone thing, where he's picking people that are related to the stones, or what, who knows? But just have like Loki bring together a team of Avengers.
Yeah,
for both movies, really, I suppose.
that's kind of like my thing. Like, I love what they're kind of setting up, and you can kind of see it. If you just think about what direction they're going in, you can see it here. And I think it's a smart way to handle it because we know Kang now, we know Loki. We can kind of see a natural course of progression. It brings me back to that post-Guardians leading up to Age of Ultron time period, where Marvel wouldn't explicitly say, yes, the Guardians and the Avengers are going to team up to fight Thanos. They wouldn't say that, but we all knew, and we just sat there going, yup, we see the pieces connecting, and then it happens. Like, that's where they're at right now with Loki in his position and what Kang was and who he is. And to me, all the potential is there now to really take a couple of these projects that are coming out, know exactly what to drop where, right? And then be like, here you go. Like, we were talking about Captain America 4 before this, you know. It's feasible at the end of it, Sylvie could show up and be like, you're not going to believe what I'm here to talk to you about, but somebody sent me, so hold up. And we know, and, you know, they can kind of lean into, like, there's now a through line that people can see in the distance of what's going on with Loki where he is. And I think that's what a lot of people needed. You now have Kang and Loki, and you see that in the distance. Maybe it's not crystal clear, maybe you don't have the perfect vision, but it'll become clearer as you get closer to it. So I love what they did. I'm honestly super excited about the future of God Loki. A lot of opportunities to do interesting stuff, in my opinion.
No,
I agree. This is a great ground to be harvested here.
Yeah.
Especially, like, I don't see a way how you can just ignore where Loki currently is. You know, season 1 of Loki came out here and said, yeah, there was a multiversal war and I ended up here from He Who Remains. So we then know that that's the plot of Secret Wars or Kang Dynasty.
Yep.
Like, if time is literally a circle, then that same thing's going to happen again, and then he's got to usurp Loki to get to that point. But obviously, that's not going to happen because the heroes, unless that's their Infinity War twist and Loki fails or whatnot. But
yeah,
that's obviously the direction that they have to go in. They've already told us what's going to happen. It's just going to be slightly different because, obviously.
Yeah,
absolutely, man. I'm excited. I really, like I said, that Loki finale was just so moving and beautiful. And
it was.
Tristan, and I want to. Sorry,
I just wanted to add. Okay, well, if you want to finish that up, and then I want Tristan's thoughts.
You can take all the time he wants because I haven't finished Loki season 2.
No, I just wanted to say I
have you even started Loki season 2?
Yes, I did.
Oh.
I just want to get to see Loki like what is now clearly his prime. Like I in the same way that like there's I don't think there's a Star Wars project on the horizon I'm more excited for than the Rey movie. That like I want to see her as a capital J, capital M Jedi Master, and I want to see Loki as the god of stories cleaning up house. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, it's good, and I guess Tristan hasn't even finished Loki, so that's shame him in the comments. Everybody, go ahead.
No, they can do that. It's just I've been like really busy for the past 2.5 weeks. I haven't had time to do much.
It makes sense. I get it. So I guess we're gonna wrap it up on that. If you guys have thoughts or what you think Loki's gonna be doing in the MCU, how he's assembling whatever he's gonna assemble for the Avengers, or how they handle it, let us know. Obviously, a lot of theories. There's so many theories. So pick anything. You could be right or wrong. It doesn't matter. Let us know. And well, quickly, where do you think we see Loki next? It's probably Kang Dynasty, right? Right? Like,
yeah, it might show up at a post credit here or there.
Yeah,
but probably that.
Okay, good. We're all on the same page there. So talk about that more. Okay. Now that the MCU has stumbled a bit, a lot of people are looking at the DCU and saying, is it possible 2025 Superman Legacy and then going on there, could DC officially start sort of a takeover where it's been long enough and maybe these projects come out and there's enough that they could effectively swap places where DCU's the one on the rise and MCU struggling?
Yeah, no, they'd have to take a lot.
Yeah.
for that to
Oh
happen.
yeah, I
currently.
don't think they're going to usurp the spunk, to be honest.
But yeah, because like, well, you like to think people would forget, but that they don't forget about like the first time they tried that their own universe, and most of the projects that are coming out are going to be compared to the past and whether or not that they actually did a good job.
Like Superman Legacy has an uphill battle.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
It's got a weird one as well, right? You have the casuals that didn't really give a crap about Man of Steel, but then you got the
They cared
really
about
wanted
Superman, but it was only the actor for some weird reason that they
Yeah.
cared.
Yeah, it's in the unique spot, and I
It
don't
is.
envy that movie with James Gunn at all, to be honest.
Which-
So
You know, looking at this whole thing, like, I want the DCU to succeed. Trust me. I wish that they can come out and go, oh, you know what? That Swamp Thing movie you didn't think was going to be big? Guess what? That made $600 million. What now? Swamp Thing. Household. I want that because it would make the MCU try even harder. Sony would still be licking glue sticks in the corner, doing Morbius 2 or whatever, because they're not going to smarten up. But, like the people say, oh, the DCU can suddenly win. Even if they pull out 5 victories in a row, the next Avengers film is a surefire $2 billion hit. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
I really don't know about that anymore.
with the multiverse and the moment you toss Hugh Jackman on that poster, you got that 2B coming, you know?
I mean, there is that side, right? But I think we're in such a different landscape at the minute that I really don't know how.
I think it could reach it, but they basically have to bring back everyone again.
Which Secret Wars is going to do, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's literally the plot of that movie. But I know I shouldn't question it, but I'm questioning it.
Here's the fun trick here. By the end of the multiverse saga, the people who know how to read will be excited for the conclusion of the story that's been told over these last 3 phases. The soups of the world will be excited because flashing colors and, oh, I remember that actor.
Mm.
And then the naysayers will get to be like, and Marvel fixed it because they did the thing that we said they should do, which is everything. You know? So everyone's going to be happy by the end of the day. The issue with the DC universe is that they're late to the party because of a lot of unforced errors on the part of WB and Snyder, and all of that is well litigated. We don't need to talk about it. But they're coming in at this point where people are already having questions about superhero or franchise fatigue, which is like its own weird bag of cats. But you have to then recognize these are, for most people, new characters. Like, let's just take a moment and recognize your average person is more familiar with dark versions of Superman than they are Superman.
And none of them, I guarantee, know who Booster Gold is. I'm sorry. So
yeah.
So
you have the booster element. You have a little bit of name cachet with Peacemaker and Cena, but for the most part, these are new waters. And explaining to people who these characters actually are when they're not pouting about the idea of even being a hero. So I think that, I don't know if it's going to, usurp it. I think there might be a new shiny toy element at play. Just because, it's the beginning of a story for everybody.
Yeah, what you said about that people were more accustomed to having dark versions of their characters, it kind of makes me sad because that's what they associate Superman with, which is that he doesn't want to be a hero. I mean, to me, it's just that Superman embodies that he sees the best in everyone and he just wants to do the right thing. But apparently, people think that's boring and that
Who was that
You
actor?
shouldn't have
just
a hero
Just
like
recently?
watch
that.
Invincible. Look, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
if Superman, if no one watches a new Superman movie, just watch Invincible.
Yeah.
It's
But like,
perfect Superman. Right
who
there.
was that just actor recently who was interviewed and he was like, "Oh, I
Jacob
wouldn't."
Euphoria
Elordi,
guy.
yeah.
He wouldn't audition for Superman because he was like, "Superman's a dark character." It's like, bro,
I
Oh.
I genuinely think he's taking the piss with that.
he might on it. But also, there is this perception like, I have friends, and they're casuals, and I'm like, "Oh, I can't wait for Superman Legacy." They're like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Oh, no, no, no. Superman's like bright, fun," and then they automatically think Batman v Superman, or like the opposite of that, the direct opposite. They think Batman and Robin. I'm like, "Oh, no, no." Like, there's a fine line
You
Superman
need that
walks.
middle ground.
Yeah, that's his line, and like, I do think that the last 15 years and the combo of Man of Steel and Injustice have done damage to Superman because
Oh, 100%,
an entire
yeah.
generation of kids have grown up with those two versions being the most popular, and it's really sad. And they got an uphill battle with the DCU, like, and some of these projects they announced, bold, I will say that, but at the same time, do they move the needle? Like, I don't see a world in which where Lanterns becomes the next zeitgeist like Game of Thrones. I do not see that happening. I'm sorry. Like,
Well, I think this is the thing. That I think you got to go back to. Obviously, it's slightly differently because the history of it, but you have to go back to like the Iron Man 1, like go back to 2008.
mm-hmm.
Like they're at that point. When they announced Guardians in 2012, you had the whole, "Oh, this is going to be the end of everything." Like a talking tree and raccoon, who cares? Like they want Lanterns to be their guardians. So I think you just got to give them that little bit of leeway in the box office as well.
Yeah.
Because not everything before Avengers didn't do great, right? So they're just going to have to, whether Zaslav gives them the leg room to actually like, slowly build up that box office and get people on side. Who knows? But I think they just need that little bit of leg room because they're not where the MCU is right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're in a completely different spot. But
Yeah,
is the casual going to do that? I don't know.
that's the biggest.
That's what they need.
Like, I don't get the people that are like, superhero fatigue is real. The DCU's gonna save us. Hate to break it to you, but that's also a superhero movie. Weird, but yeah, I don't know.
People don't have opinions. People just hear someone say one thing and then repeat that.
That's true.
That's all it is. No one actually knows what they want. They just want to say MCU bad, superheroes bad.
Oh, so I said the joke louder.
Yeah,
Remark.
it's crazy.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna end that. This is the big one. The bulk of the show is gonna be here. Marvel Studios is in shambles, guys. Shambles.
Naturally.
Big bold words. Shambles. It's over. They've had.
Why isn't Jared like biting your head off?
I want to walk in. I'm too busy thinking about how much this discourse makes me want to walk into traffic.
I mean, like you say that, and it just gives me like his image. Well, I've seen him. I hate him. Is the graphic design is my passion with the grifters.
Yeah.
And like they have to have. I don't know why they still have this infatuation with Brie Larson, and they morph her face into having tears because apparently she was part of the downfall and all that.
Well, now they've turned on Naomi Vellani, haven't they?
Yeah, apparently.
She said that one thing where it's like completely innocent. It's like, "Oh, she slams fans." It's like, shut up. She's literally a kid. Leave her alone.
All right, y'all. Let me learn you something big here. Let me learn you something here. Big F. To quote The Last Jedi. There was a pandemic. It upended all the movies. And then whenever they were getting back on their feet, they found out one of their most important actors who was going to carry the franchise for a while might be a horrifying monster. And then after that, the writers and the actors went on strike. So they couldn't work on anything.
And the directors.
Yeah, but...
So now, while everything is happening, while they had a money-hungry, unhinged CEO say, I don't care if it's done or not, put it on Disney Plus. Some shows were maybe not great, and a movie or two had some questionable CGI, and apparently that is enough to torpedo a gajillion-dollar franchise. This is also stupid. I can't stand this. I physically get angry when I remember that Variety published this article. It wasn't Doomcock. It wasn't Geeks and Gamers. It wasn't Screen Rant. It was Variety.
And I do want to point this out. I find it hilarious that 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, suddenly all these arguments you just brought up, the pandemic, the actors, all that on strike, everybody used that as an excuse of why Marty Scorsese's latest film bombed. That was all brought up, but he can't have Leonardo DiCaprio doing the press rounds. He can't do this, he can't do that. But you can't apply that same sentiment to a comic book film. I get it. You chose who you want to back, and you're going to bend over backwards to make any excuse. I see what they're doing. But this whole notion of we can only apply these things to this one thing and not the other is so stupid, because what pattern have we seen since these strikes started and there couldn't be any late night shows? You couldn't have Iman Vellani and Brie Larson on Jimmy Fallon, where you would get those viral clips of them just being happy that would sell the film to casuals. You couldn't get them on morning talk shows. That's affected every single TV show and film in the last 7 months. But it's conveniently ignored and applied to only the thing that people want to hate. And I think that's disingenuous.
Because the Shambles came out after the strikes. Come on now.
And they're applying that too, being like, yeah, but they could have done the advertising. What? The day after the film came out? They did. But you don't have the 90-day lead up to that, which is a slow cascade that they build up towards. It's genuinely insane to see this, because I went back and looked at old articles right before the Avengers, where Avengers was estimated to make only $80 million at the box office, and people were pointing to the fact that Thor and Captain America and the Incredible Hulk were bombs, and that this film would be the end of Marvel Studios. That was in trades. Looking at it going, Captain America, Hulk, and Thor have doomed Marvel. And what happened? This isn't anything new. It's just now so prevalent because, as Jared brought it up, you have every person out there, every grifter, everybody's running with the same thing, and it takes the majority of the consciousness and dimensions, because every other video, if you're in that bubble, is Marvel shambles, scrolls, stop what you're doing, Marvel is in shambles. You scroll again, same thing. It's become the new thing. It's just blows my mind that this is where we're at, and they've taken 3 missteps, maybe 3.
Well, and that's not even taking into consideration, again, going back to that just dreck of a Variety article, there's barely any mention of the things that have been universally praised. Mm-hmm. And granted, the article came out before Loki season 2 wrapped up, but they were talking about the finale in some capacity. So Loki season 2, universally loved. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, incredible, beautiful story.
Guardians 3,
Guardians 3,
tier.
Exactly, God tier. And again, it is fueling this incredibly almost goldfish brained pattern of new thing comes out, I don't like, the whole franchise is dead. New thing comes out, it saved the MCU. Maybe you just didn't like that movie, and that's fine. But this bizarre need to have it be emblematic of some great decline or great return. I am telling you, the moment the Infinity Saga wrapped up, people had already made up their minds that they weren't going to be into the new stuff. Mm-hmm. There was this from the ground nostalgia. And again, I don't want to say, if you don't like the current Marvel output, if you don't like this, if you don't like that, I'm not saying you're wrong for disliking it. This is all subjective. If you don't like it, you don't like it. That's perfectly valid. But the way that the media landscape is built around justifying your opinions about a piece of art with some type of subject or objective fact
Yeah.
is how we get here. Like, it took 0.3 seconds of new Marvel post Endgame being, oh, it fell off after Endgame, it fell off after Endgame, it fell off after Endgame, and now we're retroactively trying to build up, oh, this is the part when the MCU was bad so that it can come back. You know?
Which
It's
is
like,
weird, right? Because straight after Endgame, we had WandaVision, and that thing was huge.
And
Yeah.
same with Loki and Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Black Widow's box office. Even on digital release, they made over 100 million opening weekend on just digital purchases. Like, what are people talking about? Like, revisionist history is insane with this whole concept.
Yeah. And again,
So, you know, it's what, like Shang-Chi, Eternals, Ant-Man, the Marvels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like the ones that have probably like not done what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, they
out of the
didn't
30 things we've got since Endgame, like,
the things that didn't perform as well as they wanted to, they still made money, you know. And I don't understand the like this weird idea that everything is going to be Endgame. This weird, like, I don't like, oh, well, it didn't live up to this, it didn't live up to that. And like, all the box office is down for everything. It has been consistently. There have been a handful of movies that have been Marvel pictures that have like that have made it feel like pre-pandemic box office. And it's been, and granted, it's been stuff like No Way Home or Multiverse of Madness that, like, on some level, part of it, the allure is, oh, it's multiverse, so you get to see that thing you knew and liked. But like those they also have like a story to tell within those that isn't just the hand wavy nostalgia bait that like people love to ascribe to the MCU when that's what the Flash did. You know, we're like we're putting the sins of other franchises on the MCU for some reason. Like, so much of this is just so silly, and I hate going to bat for the Walt Disney Corporation all the time.
Yeah.
But it's flagrantly dishonest. It is using this bizarre cherry-picked framing that it's impossible to divinate any actual analysis from.
Mm-hmm.
It's nonsense. It's horseshit.
Yeah. No, I agree. There is nothing here. Is it not where it once was? Yeah, it's not. But guess what? That took 11 years to get to that point, and it also took 2, maybe 3 movies a year slowly. But then everything got messed up after that. And as we pointed out, they would already be, literally, right now, we would be anticipating the Kang Dynasty to release in 2024, because Fantastic Four was the one that leads into it in the old slate. Like, that's how far removed we are from everything that happened. So it's going to take a little bit to gain back a fan base. But also remember, new kids, new people are going to discover these MCU properties. There's a new kid every day, you know, and they're going to jump in now, or old ones, because they're going to see it on their brother's or sister's shelves or whatever, or their dad's shelf, and go, what is this? They're going to find something to enjoy with it. Like, the whole Marvel's Shambles things, I've seen people literally act like it's over. Like, there's never going to be a new fan again, and the old fans are all leaving. I'm like, that is such a short-sighted, idiotic approach to look at anything. Like, it blows my mind.
The problem with everyone's thoughts have been consigned to like 140 characters for like 20 years.
That's true. That
or
is
whatever
true.
the hell it is now. Like, you know, there's nuances.
Well, it's that, and it's also the rage bait, man. Like, there's such a, again, like the fact that there are publications in the trades that read like Screen Rant or like Fandom Menace outlets.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I'm sorry, again, the refusal to acknowledge the pandemic, the strikes, Chapek, and also the very real Fandom Menace element here. It's why channels like Star Wars Theory, for example, are so prevalent. You know, you random fictional Star Wars fan that we're going to create here, you know, you don't like the newer movies. And part of it is because it doesn't quite feel like the Star Wars you knew.
Yeah, that's always the key.
You don't know how to voice that. You're not even sure what you dislike. Now, part of that, and again, I'm not saying if you don't like the newer stuff from either Star Wars or Marvel, you're a bigot, but there is such a thing as implicit bias. That is a real phenomenon. That is a real problem. So you go to people who start talking about why those implicit biases are actually the reason why it's bad. That it is because of these inclusions. It's because of things that don't matter. And now we're going to apply these double standards where this character that we all love did this thing and it was awesome, but this new character who is some type of marginalized community does the same thing and it's bad. You get that weird, amalgam, and then you have people who like to keep the more mask on approach, like a Star Wars theory, and then you start working your way down the pipeline, and by then you're in full nerd QAnon, thinking Doomcock actually has inside sources at the Walt Disney Corporation.
I mean,
every Doomcock video is a Q drop. There's no difference.
And that's the thing, you talk about the Marvel fan base has found itself in the same place. Like, I just saw the Marvels, right? In theaters, and there was typical people I know, and there was a guy who, again, I seen at all the premieres, and after he was like, I hated that movie. And I was like, oh, why? Like, this is the first one he's ever said he hated. And I just genuinely wanted to know why. I wasn't going to, question anything. And he goes, well, it was good, but I just hate them pushing the agenda. And I was like, do you mind which agenda? And he goes, just look at the movie. Why does Miss Marvel need to be female? And I didn't even bother to respond. I was like, yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. I was like, because her name is Miss Marvel? Did you want a guy to be Miss Marvel so then you can be even more upset? Like, he was legit he needed a reason to hate this film. Even though he just said he liked it, but then he hated it because Miss Marvel was a woman. I don't get it. I think people are now just throwing random things out there just to try to sound like their favorite YouTuber. Just throw out some shock jock thing out there and hope it sticks. I mean, and I want to say I'm not entirely innocent of this, but I always prove my point when I was like, I don't like The Dark Knight as a Batman movie because it's not a Batman movie. And everybody was like, I kind of see what you're saying, but it's wrong. And then everybody suddenly agreed. Spider-Man Far From Home is a bad movie for Spider-Man, but it's a Spider-Man movie. I was like, it's just the same argument, but you're not proving a point here because that was a Spider-Man movie. It's now just become parroting the dumbest thing and just hope nobody questions it and believes you. I don't get it.
And there's a lot of putting lipstick on a pig, especially with the Marvel situation. Again, I don't think there's a lot of people who, the MCU in Phase 4 and onward has become more diverse, and has been telling stories from different walks of life and different perspectives that I'm sorry, I'm not saying, just like with Star Wars, if you like the newer stuff, if you don't like the newer stuff, you're inherently a bigot. I'm not saying that, but you can't tell me that those implicit biases aren't at play here.
Yeah.
There's no effing way that's not part of the equation. Mm-hmm. So again, to not even acknowledge that, to not even acknowledge the loud lunatics who were thumping their chests about this, who are affecting public opinion. Nia DaCosta is getting trashed for the whole, oh yeah, and then she left halfway through to work on her new movie, which A, she said wasn't true, and B, where was the outrage when Spielberg did that with Jaws and Jurassic Park and Schindler's List?
Well, actually, it was true with DaCosta. It's just taken completely out of context.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Is that but devoid of that context, it reads like nonsense.
Yeah.
And it's wow, I can't believe the director. Y'all aren't doing that with white dudes. You aren't doing that with white male directors. You're not. We're not putting this bizarre scrutiny.
Well, that's it. You can also make the argument for that. It's people these days think they know how the industry works.
That's another factor. Yeah.
The whole Dunning-Kruger effect, right? You think you know something, but you have no experience and you don't know. I have no idea how it works. I know some bits of how it works.
Yeah.
Someone comes out and says reshoots. Cool. Every movie has reshoots. But you go back a couple of years ago, and the reshoots was literally the devil word. Like you couldn't say reshoots without panicking people, right? Like it's literally just a case of that.
You should take like for an example, like if you take like an animated series or a movie, and people think that everything is planned out and everything is going smoothly, and you ask a lot of animators, and they'll pull the wool over and just say that half the time we're not really doing anything because no one knows what's going on or who's doing what, and everyone's just arguing half the time. Nothing gets done until we got a crunch. Oh well.
Yeah. There's a reason why people say, like in the industry, it's a miracle that any movie gets made.
Yeah.
It's not smooth sailing. Hollywood is actually a shit show. Always has been, always will be. It's a lot of people. It's never going to be smooth. There's always going to be some stuff. And the whole need of cost things, you literally had to go because of scheduling.
Yeah. And they made that clear.
It's as simple as that.
And like,
yeah,
it's, I don't know, like this whole Marvel Studios Shambles thing, it's just coming at them from everywhere now. It's the new buzzword. It's not going to go away. And make no mistake about it. Remember, Age of Ultron came out, did $60 million less than the first film. The next 2 years were Avengers is a failed brand. From the people who are backing Batman v Superman, not even delivering a quarter of what they told the studio execs it was going to deliver. Like, what? Come on. It's, this whole thing, it's the new thing. You say Marvel Shambles, that's the new Marvel bad. It's just evolved.
Yeah. I don't even think people are inherently bad if, with the whole thing of, once Endgame's done, I'm jumping off the ship, right? That's completely fine to do.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to do that, that is your prerogative. I know so many people that have done that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But it doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. It doesn't, that doesn't change the actual quality of anything coming out. Like, good or bad, whatever. Like, you can, if you don't want to be here anymore, you can just jump off. It's totally fine. Mm-hmm. That's down to you.
Exactly. Nobody's and that's another thing. People act like people is forcing you to watch this and talk about it. Bro, you don't have to talk about the Marvels if you don't want to. The only reason you choose to talk about it is because you're grifting for the clicks. Like, that's...
Yeah, so no one else is talking about it, so why should you? Like, don't worry about it.
Wild. It's wild. But the worst thing is some of these people's fans, they don't realize they're being taken advantage of. So, it's... kind of shocking, but it is what it is. So I think we've said pretty much all we can say, really, on the Shambles, haven't we? Anything else?
I think so.
Yeah. It will come back round. It would just take. If Kang Dynasty comes out here and absolutely slaps, people are going to forget.
Yep.
And we're going to be right back to where we were with Infinity War and Endgame.
But people are going to forget it up until Ironheart gets a 6 out of 10, and then Marvel Shambles.
Oh, 100%,
yeah. Uh-huh. So
it's time's a flat circle. We learned this in Loki.
So I guess what we're gonna do now is officially wrap this up. So once again, everybody, make sure you check out Jared over on the Nerd Academy, as always.
Yes, Nerd Academy, Epic Confrontations, and Ionized Bastards. Watch all of them.
All of them.
Watch Jared lose.
I am a winner.
Go.
I've yet to see. Actually, I tell you, I've seen you win once. That's.
Did you not watch my most recent match where I knocked out a former Schmodown player?
Yeah, that's what I said. I've seen you win once.
The only thing Jared we can universally agree upon is the worst take ever is his Miles Morales take. The suit's bad.
What about the better than Avengers with BVS?
Hold on. I'm just gonna kick him right now. Permanently block him.
No. I had just turned 18, and I liked parts of that movie enough that it blinded me. I don't stand by that take. I was a child.
Oh, I forget. I always try to.
Still said it on the internet, though.
We all had our moments.
Don't stand by it.
We all had them. Remember, me at one point, most excited for X-Men Apocalypse. Mitch, Amazing Spider-Man 2 Defender for the first 2 weeks. Then I remember you saw it again. You're like,
I was gonna say 2 weeks, but that was just a blip.
Yeah. It's Tristan. Everybody's had their moments. Okay, Ricardo is a moment at this point, so that's.
Hey, Ricardo with Zoa.
He's still drinking Zoa. I guarantee it.
Yes. He I think he likes the holiday punch that
I was
just
gonna
came
say, don't
out.
they have a Christmas flavor out now?
Yeah, it's called holiday punch.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Deck the halls with lots of steroids, male enhancing performance drugs.
So yeah, everybody. Hopefully you enjoy this. Hopefully you guys are having a good time, and we will all catch you on the next show soon. Now that things are
In
back
3
in
months.
motion.
Bye.
We'll catch you in time for Deadpool or something. We'll see.
That sounds about right.
Later, everybody.